Let's go, Meat Boys. You see the text, and it's a return to the Parlay Fillet. It's been a little while, Meat Boy. I believe November of 2021 was the last time we threw down a Parlay Fillet, but in this one, nonetheless, it's a two-legger. We got Joe Pyfer, we got Grant Dawson, and we think that this Parlay Fillet should get the streak back on track, get us to a nice 6-3, and right into it, the first leg, Joe Pyfer, aka Body Bags, is 11-2 overall, and 2-0 in the UFC, and finally getting a lot of love from the odds makers in this one. He's minus 470, and it makes sense, right? Because this dude has had some beautiful finishes most recently. Took out Alan Amidowski, easy light work meat lock, and same thing against GM3, but he's taken on Judo Thunder, who at plus 360 is kind of a grizzled UFC vet at this point. He is 38 years old. He's 12-5 overall, and he's lost 4 of his last 6, and while he is coming off a recent win, it was against Claudio Ribeiro. He ended that hype train quickly, and if you really inspect Abdul, Razak, Alhassan's W's, it's a lot of guys that Body Bags would likely smash. So the first leg of the fillet, Body Bags Pyfer. How do you think he gets this one done, Meat Boy? Is it a drag him out decision, or is this a light work Pyfer finish?
I think this is an absolute easy meat, easy filet mignon, easy Alaskan King Salmon lock if I've ever seen one, because I can't wait to throw Joe into this mix because Joe's an absolute savage. He's going to knock out Judo Thunder probably the first 20 seconds, but let's give him a little credit. Maybe it goes 30 seconds. If it hits the mat, he's done. If it stays on the feet, he's done. 30 seconds, it's done.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were going to throw down your patented under 60-second lock hammers, and perhaps this would be the opportunity because you got to imagine that Judo Thunder from the get-go is going to be pushing the pace, trying to throw those YOLO meat bombs, and as long as Pyfer can stay safe for those first couple seconds where it's most dangerous, it's likely that he lands something heavy in return and perhaps devastating as well. But if you look at Tapology Meat Boy, 92% are basically seeing it that way. Pyfer all the way, mostly brown, and only 8% is rolling with Judo Thunder. It's basically all brown, so the YOLO KO they think is Abdul's only pathway. If you're taking Pyfer, do you really like that under 60, maybe even under zero point 0.5, or how will you play this if you think that Pyfer is that early and often?
Definitely under in the first minute. I'm definitely playing, because most likely the KO will be minus 400 because everyone knows that's what's going to happen. So the play is definitely the under 0.5 and the under 60-second YOLO. This is a lock nonetheless. Pyfer's going to decimate him. It's just a matter of if, it's a matter of when and what time. I think it'll be early and often.
Yeah, for sure. And regardless, it's a first leg in the fillet, so even just that straight up will get the first piece. But the prop YOLO's on the side. I could see an early finish for Joe Pyfer nonetheless. But he's the first leg, Meat Boy. We like KGD. Grant Dawson transitioned into the second, and this is a guy who has really just been getting better and better every single fight. I mean, it's crazy that this guy was fighting on the first season of the Contender Series and just all of the killers that have come out of that show. But nonetheless, he's got double-digit UFC wins. Most impressively was that nice win over Demir, and a lot of people thought Demir would get that one done, but he managed to smoke him, did the same to Mark O. Madsen, and really is just showcasing a very well-rounded skill set, and it makes sense why he's minus 445, even against such a tough guy like Bobby Green, who you got to respect. The dude's always down to step up. I mean, ever since he fought Islam, I thought that Bobby Green was finally getting the respect that he's really earned, but in this one, he's going to be outmatched against KGD. So for the second leg, KGD Dawson, how do you think he gets this done over Bobby Green? And is it going to be closer than anticipated?
Unfortunately, this isn't going to be an absolute 2-minute meet down like it was with Joe Pyfer. This is going to be more of a 25-minute grind amount. I feel so bad for Bobby Green that he has to deal with this. Grant Dawson is inevitably known to be the decision king, and I see that being the same way, but nonetheless, an absolute lock. He's going to display why he is a true contender, a very scary fighter in that division, and Bobby Green is just not going to be ready for it. I think he's going to smother him, and I could even see this submission in the first or second round, but I'm not going to hold my breath on a finish by Grant Dawson. So most likely lock nonetheless by decision.
Yeah, for sure. Grant Dawson historically has been kind of a decision machine, but he has picked up those nice 2 recent finishes over Marco Madsen, as mentioned, and Jared Gordon late in the contest in that one as well. He slept Leonardo Santos as well, but to your point, Bobby Green is pretty difficult to finish. I mean, unless you're Islam, it's usually he's losing those decisions. So I can see that all the way for Dawson. In fact, I was a little surprised. It's 91% of Capology rolling with Grant, but a sizable majority is Copper for that sub. So they do think that Dawson will get that submission finish, which I think is interesting. But 9% roll with Bobby Green. It's half and half for the decision and KO. I like Grant Dawson a lot by decision in this one. I think, like you said, it's just going to be a grind him out where he's unable to stop the takedowns. That is Bobby Green, and as a result, he probably gets cooked. So, any last thoughts on this one, boy? Then we'll throw out some numbers.
No, these are both locks nonetheless. Two different paths to victory, but a victory is still shall be born.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And in this one, throwing down some somewhat strange numbers, 612, throwing down 612 to net 297, get us that sixth fillet and keep us well within the green. It's an easy two-team hammer. Any last thoughts?
No, lock nonetheless. Make sure to smash that subscribe. Throw in the comments, are you riding with the meat fillet parlay? Or are you fading it? And tell us below.